Good blessed Monday morning, May the 16th, 2022. It's about 9:02 a.m. in the morning. I just want to say I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. I have two videos that's connected on here. One of them was made April the 11th, 2022 in Carbondale, Illinois at SIU campus, Southern Illinois University campus, when the national president for the NAACP, Derrick Johnson, was speaking there. I want you to see the question that I asked him about my then 45-year-old black son, Brian Lamont Johns, who was found hung on Friday, March the 19th, 2021 in Carbondale, Illinois. And it's been over 420-something days, and it hasn't yet been in a newspaper. They deemed it suicide. I deem it homicide. But I want you to see what Derrick Johnson said about the question that I had asked him concerning my son's death, which I filed with the NAACP in Carbondale, Illinois on May the 11th, 2021, which haven't got a response yet, but he said that they don't investigate. They don't have the sources for that. They just have volunteers. But I want you to look at a video just recent that Derrick Johnson, this is one of many that Derrick Johnson contradicts himself. He speaking on national news. When it comes to people that has money or people that's getting national news, he's speaking about the shooting in Buffalo, which I sympathize with all the people who was in there that was traumatized and shot. Also, I criticize law enforcement officials, which Derrick didn't speak about that. He ain't gonna speak about that because that's no concern for him. But I speak about this 18-year-old white individual, white supremacist that did the shooting and killing in Buffalo at the Tops Friendly Supermarket. Last year in June, he was not arrested, but the Illinois State Police took him to some type of hospital for a mental evaluation because he was talking about shooting up a school during the graduation. Shooting up a school, that's a crime, y'all. That's a crime that they be arresting people for. But this individual wasn't arrested. He was sent to took to a hospital by the Illinois, not the Illinois, but the New York State Highway Patrol. And they said in a day and a half, he was let back out. Nothing said, nothing done. Derrick probably didn't do that type of research because he's so used to being on the news and going to these campuses. Derrick ain't gonna come in no black neighborhood like this here where we having problems at. Whether NAACP here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, whether NAACP in Carbondale, Illinois, Jackson County, where they don't give a doggone about the problems that the blacks is having. Derrick don't even care. You see what I'm saying? Derrick, when you listen to him speaking on these, what he said to me concerning my son, then what he just recently said about the shootings in Buffalo, he's speaking about a couple of rappers, with 20-something rappers, that's been arrested on the RICO Act just recently for guns, drugs, and gangbanging now. These rappers is millionaires that has money. Me being a black man that don't have the money, can't get the funding to get a separate or independent investigation of my son lynching or hanging. Derrick don't want to have nothing to do with that, nor do any of the NAACP, which has 2 million plus members. And it's only four members that's really concerned, and that's me, my two youngest daughters, and a black man that's a graduate from the SIU in Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, Illinois, that has concern about my son's death. Don't know other politicians have it. Don't know other preachers have it. But you have some whites and blacks that's not a part of these organizations that care. But listen to Derek, y'all. Listen to how he's speaking up about the RICO Act. Because what do the RICO Act has to do with this white supremacist killing up these black folks up in there? That white supremacist that killed them black folks in that store in Buffalo, New York, is no different than these people that they're arresting for these RICO Acts. The blacks that they arrested for RICO Acts, I'm not saying that these ones that they got guilty, but if they are guilty, they are no different than the white supremacists. They even worse than the white supremacists because they shooting up the black community, not the white community. But Derek speak up for them. He speak up for Jeffrey Smolak. You see what I'm saying? Who paying people to beat him up. He sent a letter up there, but he can't do nothing concerning my son because they don't have the capacity. The NAACP, to me, is no different than the white supremacists. Those that the shoe fit wear, because there's some NAACP chapters in certain places is standing up against the wrong for people like myself and my son. But Derek Johnson or the NAACP in Carbondale, Illinois, nor the NAACP here in Charleston, Missouri, is speaking up for people like that. You see what I'm saying? Me and my daughters and them encountered a lot of things. We can't get the NAACP to do a damn thing. Peace be still. When y'all get the opportunity, I would like y'all to look at this whole entire YouTube video that I had uploaded on April the 11th, 2022, when me and my youngest daughter went down to Carbondale, Illinois, to the University of Illinois, Southern Illinois University campus to hear Dr. Derek Johnson, the NAACP National President, speak, especially since me and my now 15 and 16-year-old, soon to be 16 and 17-year-old daughters joined the NAACP. But I want you to listen to my question to him. How can we get help with the NAACP concerning my son, Brian Lamont Johns, found lynched, hanged in Carbondale, Illinois on Friday, March the 19th, 2021. And it's been over 420 something days. It never been in the newspaper. They claimed they had a death investigation, but never really did anything but tried to do what they can to make it suicide. I filed with the NAACP chapter in Carbondale, Illinois, with Linda Flowers, which is the president of the NAACP in Carbondale, Illinois, tied with this here, the University of Southern Illinois University in Carbondale. You will see her, the heavyset lady with the wig on, sitting to the right of me when I'm standing up speaking. And I believe the other lady on the side of her, I could be wrong, is the Illinois State Conference president of the NAACP, which I don't know if it is or not. But listen to what Derek Johnson had to say about this here, how they don't have the volunteers, how the local NAACP don't get involved with things like this here. My son's case has never been in the newspaper. People don't even know he dead. It wasn't even printed. A black man was died in Carbondale. But listen to what he said to me, and then listen to what he just said on national news with the shooting in Buffalo, New York, with this white supremacist. Watch how he mentioned how the law enforcement officials is targeting the rappers with the RICO Act. The RICO Act is dealing with individuals, with these drug cases, with these guns. He concerned about that, but he ain't concerned about a black man being hung, and ain't nobody said nothing about it on the social internet but me. he worried about Jesse Smollett being put in jail. He sent a letter personally up there for them, and now he's speaking up for the rappers that's being indicted for the
give me a pen and paper, write down who you think killed your son, and tell me who it is. But my thing is to you, how do me and my daughters get help? We ain't gonna give up on the NAACP, but we haven't had any help here. And there's other people, white and black, that know my son didn't kill himself. Said the police had him wired up, snitching on people. That's why his shirts was off. You see what I'm saying? He had 3 broken fractures.
So let me jump.
Yes, sir.
First of all, feel bad. That's a tragedy. Absolutely tragedy. Secondly, the local branch, this is not what they do. They don't investigate these type of cases. They're volunteers. Thirdly, when you run across these scenarios, oftentimes what we can by families refer to lawyers that you can hire to help you navigate the system. Because the case is a river that you're describing. We don't have the capacity, nor the time focus to. You don't even have to finish. You don't have to. I appreciate it. I just wanted to hear. That's all I got to hear. You know, if they don't have the capacity, but when Jesse Smollett picked individuals to jump on a letter sent to you from you down to Cook County.
I want y'all to look at this picture real good. This is the president of the NAACP, the national president, Derrick Johnson. And right before that, y'all heard the question that I asked him and then the answer that he gave me. I've been better off going to the Ku Klux Klan and asking them for help. I'm here in Carbondale, Illinois at the student center, just coming out of the ballroom. But I just want to let y'all know that the NAACP, to me, it don't mean what it meant when Thurgood Marshall was the president of NAACP. What sense did me and my 2 daughters even join the NAACP? We can't get no help here in Carbondale, Illinois. We couldn't get no help in Charleston, Missouri. And now here I come to meet the national chapter, and I see why my 16-year-old didn't want to come. She didn't want to come because she see just what the NAACP is made up of. I'm telling y'all now, this president can send a letter all the way up to Cook County jail courthouse for Jesse Smollett, who staged somebody jumping up on him and sent a letter for him, but he said they don't have the resources for a black individual that was found hung, lynched. But I'm gonna leave it like that. If y'all want to say anything, you can. You don't have to. But anyway, I'm just gonna end it like this here. I'm gonna let my daughter tell y'all what she really think. Just hold on a minute.
There you go.
I got it. What do you think about what just happened, man? Do you think you think the NAACP care about the hanging of your brother?
No, sir, I don't. I feel like that they don't stand what they say it stand for. I feel like that they help who they want to help, or they hear what they want to hear, and they don't really care about things like this.
It's a lot of clout.
Yep.
Go ahead, y'all.
Honestly,
go ahead.
It's more for publicity than anything.
You've been, how long you been fighting this fight with me? Since the beginning, and 13 months. You and your mom.
Since the
and we appreciate it. Some people say I'm racist. Do you think I'm racist?
You are.
If I was racist, I wouldn't even have y'all. You sat in there and listened to. Tell them what that NAACP president said after me and my daughter left.
As long as I could stand.
Tell me what he said after I left.
After you left, he said that it was not the NAACP's obligation to be able to hook you up with the resources, but they could let you know where to find a lawyer.
Ain't that something? If that was the case, I wouldn't even have to come down here.
Sounds like somebody that...
What do my rewards say that I'm offering on that thing?
$500.
$500. If I can afford a lawyer, do you think I'll be talking about just $500?
Well, I know plenty of people that will donate to help.
But I know you done donated before to our cause. You and your mother. Absolutely. And we appreciate y'all.
I know.
And I'm going to head on back down to Charleston. You know, y'all keep us in y'all prayers. I see now that we don't have the help of the NAACP. No. I see why they doing. If they leader doing, I can see why the rest of these things.
And Linda was right up there.
Linda Flower was right in there. In the one that's the president, the conference president of the Illinois chapter. But it go to show you. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. They ain't for the people. It ain't. The NAACP is not. Now it is not the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. It's the National Association for the Advancement of Certain People. Yeah. See, he sit up there thinking that everybody listening. You see how some people said, I feel your pain up in there? Uh-huh. You see what I'm saying? They know that they can do something. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? They didn't have nothing to do with Ahmaud Arbery, but they was in that courtroom, wasn't it?
That's right.
They didn't have nothing to do with George Floyd neither. You know why they got involved in that? Because it's money. Let me leave out of here with this here.
We love you.
We love y'all too.
Peace be still.
Now he said they have nothing to do with it. They didn't have nothing to do with George Floyd, but it was money in it. They didn't have nothing to do with Ahmaud Arbery, but it was money in it. They didn't have nothing to do with Jesse Smogins, a guy that committed a crime. Smolak, get me right, Smolak, that committed a crime. My son didn't commit a crime. The only crime my son committed, he was black, he was on drugs, he was homeless, and he been to prison. I got more white people here in Carbondale. I got more white people here in Carbondale that's helping me than I got black. And there is some blacks, but we see the NAACP with the exception of one black member that's been helping us. Peace be still.
Joining me now is Derek Johnson, the president and CEO of the NAACP. Derek, thank you so much for joining me in such a tragic background. I want to get your thoughts right now. We're hearing so much that this young man was radicalized on social media because he was bored. Could you talk a little bit about your reaction to that?
We have to decide as a society, as a country, how are we going to address domestic terrorism? How are we going to address the platforms that allow for the type of hate, radicalization to take place, whether it is on social media, whether it's Fox News? At some point, we have to stop repeating these stories. It is unfortunate we're coming out of the pandemic, but many people were quarantined. Mental health issues are at an all-time high. And here you have a young man, very similar story to what happened in Wisconsin, very similar story of what happened in with the synagogue in Pittsburgh, very similar story, and we can go on and on and on. The real question is, what are we going to do about it? You know, when will Facebook, when will the other social media platforms be held accountable? When will Fox News be held accountable? When will we deal with the gun industry that continues to allow this to happen? This nation has to deal with domestic terrorism. And we must do so aggressively. We must do so decisively so we won't continue to repeat this same story over and over again.
Derek, you and I have talked a lot about this increased violence that we're feeling as communities of color. This is very much a playbook and blueprint that we saw in El Paso, and you marched and supported the Latino community, recognizing that there was no place for hate in this country. And yet, as you mentioned, it keeps going, and there seems to be no political will. I often have to remind people that when we talk about communities of color, we are not a small community. We're talking about 140 million Americans who happen to be brown, black, and Asian and native. So how can we get political will to ensure that our communities are safe when we go to the grocery store?
You know, you think about El Paso. El Paso was a part of a 7-day reign of terror. You go from El Paso to Pittsburgh to Louisville, Kentucky. In that 7 day, we had 3 separate incidents taking place targeting the African American community, the Latino community, the Jewish community. At the end of the day, white supremacy cannot coexist with democracy. One thing must prevail. Because if we allow white supremacist dogma to continue to dominate the public square, if we allow white supremacist behavior continue to play itself out with the level of emboldenment we've seen over the last few years, that this democracy will not survive. This is not about one community. This is about the collective whole of this nation. And we must stop this. We must stop this by ensuring that the Justice Department target white supremacist behavior, use the RICO statute. Well, we just seen rappers being arrested under RICO when we know domestic terrorist cells exist. We know who they are. They attacked our capital. We must act decisively. Corporate America was a part of Stop Hate for Profit because Facebook allowed for their platform to be used to radicalize individuals. At one point,
Derek, I want to ask you. So, Derek, I want to ask you, because we have just very quickly, what happens when the leadership is actually purporting a lot of this? When you see members of Congress actually talking about replacement theory on their Twitter, encouraging this violence, what kind of censure can we have for them?
They need to be treated like the citizens they are and be brought under some type of investigation, indicted and prosecuted. At some point, we must decide what's political and what's consistent with our Constitution. And what's under our Constitution is equal protection under the law, and all citizens are deserving of that. And if anyone violates that, they should be treated as the criminals they are.
Thank you, Derek Johnson, NAACP President and CEO.